Build a full-stack app with Bolt.new in Cursor in 30 minutes. Q. What exactly is Bolt.new and why should developers care about it? A. Bolt.new is an AI-powered full-stack development platform that runs entirely in the browser. Built on StackBlitz's web container technology, it uses AI to generate complete Next.js applications from natural language prompts. You simply describe your app idea, and it creates UI components, sets up routing, connects databases, and handles backend logic automatically. For developers, this eliminates hours of boilerplate setup and lets you go from idea to deployed MVP in minutes, instead of days. It's especially powerful for solo developers and startups who need to ship fast without sacrificing code quality. Q. How does Cursor AI complement Bolt.new in a real development workflow? A. Bolt.new excels at rapid prototyping and generating the initial full-stack scaffold. But it has limitations within its browser environment. Cursor AI is a full desktop IDE, forked from VS Code, with deep AI integration that understands your entire codebase. The winning workflow is using Bolt.new for the initial 80% scaffolding, then exporting the code to Cursor AI for advanced customization, complex business logic, API integrations, and fine-tuning. Together, they form the ultimate AI-powered development stack. Q. What type of application are we building in this tutorial? A. We are building a DevTools Vault SaaS application. It's a curated library where developers can discover, save, and review their favorite developer tools. The app features a responsive grid layout with tool cards, a search and filter system, a detail page for each tool, user authentication, and a bookmarking feature. This project is perfect because it covers CRUD operations, authentication, dynamic routing, and state management. Setting up Bolt.new and starting the project. Step 1. Open your browser and go to Bolt.new. Step 2. Sign in with your GitHub account. Step 3. Click Create New Project. Step 4. Select the Next.js with Tailwind Starter template. Step 5. Accept a default project name or rename it to DevTools Vault. Step 6. Wait 10 seconds for the web container environment to initialize. Q. What should my first prompt to Bolt.new look like for best results? A. Your first prompt needs to be specific and structured. A good prompt tells Bolt.new 3 things: what the app does, what features it needs, and what stack to use. Always mention the tech stack explicitly. Next.js app router, Tailwind CSS, TypeScript, the database preference, Supabase or local state, and key features you want generated. The more specific you are about the UI elements, the better Bolt.new's AI will perform. The initial prompt for Bolt.new: create a DevTools Vault web application using Next.js 14 app router, Tailwind CSS, and TypeScript. Core features: 1. A beautiful landing page with a hero section, feature cards, and a CTA 2. A. Tools page with a responsive grid layout showing DevTool cards. 3. Each tool card should show tool name, description, category tag, and a bookmark icon. 4. A search bar at the top that filters tools by name. 5. Category filter chips, all, AI tools, productivity, IDE, terminal, testing, deployment. 6. A. Tools, id, dynamic route for individual tool detail pages. 7. A navbar with logo, navigation links, and a sign-in button. 8. A footer with links and a newsletter sign-up form. Use a modern dark theme with purple accents. Number 7. C3 United Arab Emirates dirhams. Make it fully responsive with Tailwind's responsive classes. Use dummy JSON data for the tools list initially. Q. Bolt.new generated my app. But what are the first things I should check? A. After Bolt.new generates your app, don't start customizing immediately. First, test every generated feature by running the preview. Click through all navigation links. Test the search bar. Check the filter chips, and verify the dynamic routing works on tool detail pages. Second, review the generated component structure in the file tree. Third, check for any hard-coded values that should be dynamic. Fourth, look at the dummy JSON data structure to ensure it matches your needs. Fifth, identify which parts need Cursor AI for advanced logic. Testing the generated application. Checklist after Bolt.new generates your app. Check mark click, run, To start the development server checkmark, open the preview URL in a new tab. Checkmark test every nav. Link, Home, Tools, About. Checkmark, type into the search bar and confirm filtering works. Checkmark, click each category chip in verify tool filtering. Checkmark, click 3 different tool cards and check. Tools, id, routing. Checkmark, resize browser to test mobile responsiveness. Checkmark, check console for any errors. F12 greater than console tab. Checkmark, note any broken UI or missing features for Cursor AI to fix. Q. What are the limitations of Bolt.new that require switching to Cursor AI? A. Bolt.new is brilliant at scaffolding but struggles with 4 things. First, real authentication integration with providers like GitHub or Google OAuth. Second, database connections beyond simple demo data, especially with Supabase or PlanetScale. Third, complex state management that crosses multiple components. Fourth, custom business logic like user bookmarking with local storage or backend persistence. These are exactly the tasks where Cursor AI shines because it has full file system access and can run terminal commands. Q. How do I export my Bolt.new project to work on it in Cursor AI? A. Bolt.new makes exporting straightforward. You have 2 options. Option 1 is clicking the Download button in the top right corner, which gives you a zip file of the entire project. Extract it and open the folder in Cursor AI. Option 2 is connecting your GitHub account directly from Bolt.new and pushing the project to a new repository, then cloning that repo locally and opening it in Cursor. The GitHub method is better because you get version control from the start. Exporting from Bolt.new to Cursor AI via GitHub. Method: GitHub export. Recommended. Step 1. In Bolt.new, click the GitHub icon in the top toolbar. Step 2. Click Connect Repository and authorize if needed. Step 3. Create a new repository named DevTools Vault. Step 4. Check Private or Public based on preference. Step 5. Click Push to GitHub and wait for sync to complete. Step 6. Open your terminal locally and run git clone https://github.com/your_username/devtools-vault.git. Step 7. cd DevTools Vault. Step 8. npm install. Step 9. Open Cursor AI and select Open Folder, greater than choose DevTools Vault. Step 10. Run npm run dev2. Verify everything works locally. Q. How do I use Cursor AI to add real features that Bolt.new couldn't handle? A. In Cursor AI, you use the chat panel, CMD+L or Control+L, to give instructions, and the composer, CMD+I or Control+I, to generate multi-file edits. The key is providing context. Always tag relevant files using @file before asking Cursor to make changes. For example, say, @fileapp/page.tsx add a real authentication button using nextauth.js with GitHub provider. Cursor will read the file, understand the current code, and suggest the exact changes needed. You can accept or reject each change block individually. Adding GitHub authentication with Cursor AI Composer. In Cursor AI, press CMD+I, Mac, or Control+I, Windows, to open Composer. Type this exact prompt: @file package, JSON @fileapp/layout.tsx @file components/navbar.tsx. I need to add GitHub OAuth authentication using nextauth.js v5. 1. Install next-auth beta and @auth Prisma adapter. 2. Create app, API, auth, nextauth/root.ts with GitHub provider. 3. Create auth, ts in the root with the nextauth config. 4. Create a session provider wrapper in app/layout.tsx. 5. Update navbar.tsx to show user avatar when logged in and sign in button when logged out. 6. Create a middleware, ts file to protect the dashboard root client ID and secret should come from .env, local as githubclientid and githubclientsecret. Show me the complete implementation for each file. Cursor AI will generate all files. Review each one, then click Apply All to add them to your project. Q. What is the best approach for adding a database with real data persistence? A. The modern approach is using Supabase with its JavaScript client. Supabase gives you a hosted PostgreSQL database, real-time subscriptions, and a generous free tier. In Cursor AI, you'll create a Supabase project. Get your API keys, then use the composer to generate the database schema, the client setup file, and the API routes that read and write data. The key is telling Cursor AI your exact table structure so it generates the correct TypeScript. Types. Setting up Supabase database with Cursor AI. Step 1. Go to supabase.com and create a new project. Step 2. Note your project URL and anon key. Step 3. Create a .env local file with nextpublicsupabaseurl equals your underscore project underscore URL nextpublicsupabaseankey equals your underscore anon underscore key. Step 4. In Cursor AI Composer. CMD plus I, Control plus I. Type at file.env local. Create these files for Supabase integration. 1. lib/supabase/client.ts, browser client for client components. 2. lib/supabase/server.ts, server client for server components. 3. lib, Supabase, database, types, ts, TypeScript types with the schema. Table, tools, id, UUID, primary key, name, text, description, text, category, text, URL, text, image underscore URL, text, created underscore at, timestamps, bookmarks underscore count, integer. 4. app/api/tools/root.ts, get endpoint returning all tools. 5. app, api, tools. id/root.ts, get endpoint for single tool use at Supabase, SSR package for proper cookie handling in. Next, JS 14. Cursor will generate all files. Apply them, then test with npm run dev. Q. How do I implement the bookmarking feature that persists across sessions? A. Bookmarking requires both front-end state management and back-end persistence. For the front-end, use ZooStand, a lightweight state management library that's perfect for this. For the back-end, create a Supabase table linking users to bookmarked tools. In Cursor AI, you'll generate the ZooStand store, the bookmark API route, and the UI toggle button all in one composer prompt. The trick is telling Cursor exactly which components need updating. Building the bookmark feature with ZooStand and Supabase. 2. Create store/bookmarkstore.ts with ZooStand. Bookmark IDs, string, state, toggle bookmark, id, function, is bookmarked, id, selector, persist to local storage for anonymous users. 3. Create app/api/bookmarks/root.ts with post to add bookmark, authenticated users, delete to remove bookmark, get to fetch all user bookmarks. 4. Create components/bookmarkButton.tsx. Heart icon, filled when bookmarked, outline when not. Click toggles bookmark with optimistic update, red color when bookmarked, gray when not, small animation on toggle. 5. Update toolcard.tsx to include bookmark button. 6. Update app, tools, id/page.tsx to include bookmark button. Use React icons for the heart icon. Install React icons if needed. Make the toggle feel instant with optimistic UI updates. Q. What's the trick to getting the search and filter functionality production ready? A. Bolt.new generates basic client-side filtering, but production apps need debounced search with URL query parameters. This means the search term and active filters should appear in the URL as query params like tools, search equals GIT and category equals productivity. This enables sharing filtered views and browser back, forward navigation. Use Next.js use search params hook and a 300 milliseconds debounce on the search input to avoid excessive re-renders. Production ready search and filter system. In Cursor AI Composer. Type at file app/tools/page.tsx at file components/searchbar.tsx at file components/categoryfilter.tsx. Refactor the search and filter to use URL query parameters. Requirements. 1. Search input should debounce by 300 milliseconds before updating URL. 2. URL should update as tools, search equals GIT and category equals AI plus tools. 3. Active category chip should be visually highlighted. Purple BG. 4. Multiple categories can be selected simultaneously. 5. Results should update instantly when URL params change. 6. Browser back, forward should restore previous filters. 7. Create a custom hook. hooks/usedabounds.ts8. Create a utility. lib/buildQueryString.ts use search params from next, navigation and use router for updates. Show loading skeleton while results are filtering. Important. Keep the existing toolcard UI unchanged. Only modify the search, filter logic and the search bar, category filter components. Q. How do I deploy the final application so it's live on the internet? A. The easiest and fastest deployment platform for Next.js apps is Vercel. Since Bolt.new already scaffolds the project for Vercel compatibility, deployment takes under 2 minutes. Push your final code to GitHub from Cursor AI. Then import the repository into Vercel. Add your environment variables from .env local into Vercel's dashboard. Vercel will automatically detect it's a Next.js project, build it, and give you a production URL. Every future Git push automatically redeploys. Deploying to Vercel from Cursor AI. Step 1. In Cursor AI terminal. Control plus backquote or CMD plus backquote. Git add. Git commit m. Complete DevTools vault with auth. Bookmarks and filters. Git push origin main. Step 2. Go to vercel.com and sign in with GitHub. Step 3. Click Add New Project. Step 4. Select your DevTools vault repository. Step 5. Vercel auto detects Next.js. No config changes needed. Step 6. Open environment variables section and add githubclient equals your underscore client underscore id. githubclientsecret equals your underscore client underscore secret. nextauthsecret equals your underscore generated underscore secret. nextpublicsupabase equals your underscore supabase underscore URL. nextpublicsupabase equals your underscore supabase underscore anon underscore key. Step 7. Click Deploy. Step 8. Wait 60 seconds. Your app is live at https DevTools Vault, Vercel.app. Step 9. Test the deployed version thoroughly. Step 10. Share your live URL in the video description. Q. What are the 3 power tips most tutorials never teach about this workflow? A. Power tip number 1. Always use Bolt.new for vibe prototyping first before writing a single prompt. Browse the Bolt.new community templates to find a project similar to your idea. Fork it instead of starting from scratch. This saves 50% of your generation time. Power tip number 2. In Cursor AI, use the @web command to let it search documentation for the latest API changes. This prevents deprecated code. Power tip number 3. Create a Cursor rules file in your project root where you define your coding standards, preferred libraries, and file naming conventions. Cursor reads this file and follows your rules across all generations, making the code consistently yours. The Cursor rules file for consistent AI-generated code. Create a file named Cursor rules in your project root. Start a file. You are an expert Next.js 14 developer using the app router. Coding standards. Use TypeScript with strict mode enabled. Prefer server components unless client interactivity is required. Use the use client directive. Only when absolutely necessary, all components should use named exports, not default exports, file names. Kebab case for utilities. Pascal case for components. Use Tailwind CSS for all styling. Never create separate CSS files. All async operations must have proper error handling with try, catch. Use fetch API for data fetching in server components. Use ZooStant for client-side state. Never React context for frequent updates. Project conventions. API routes go in app API with proper HTTP method handlers. Database queries go in lib per decibel directory. Type definitions go in types directory. Reusable UI. Components go in components UI. Feature specific components go in components features. When generating code, always include TypeScript interfaces for all props. Add JSDOC comments to functions that aren't self-explanatory. Use the todo comment pattern. Todo description. Never use any type. Use unknown if type is truly uncertain. Prefer const over let. Never use var. Use optional chaining and nullish coalescing operators. End of file. Next steps and your challenge. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video on build a full stack app with Bolt.new in Cursor in 30 minutes, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next part. Drop your answer in the comments below and see you in the next video.
Here is your knowledge check question. Bolt.new generated my app. But what are the first things I should check? Drop your answer in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. See you in the next video.